This new decade is clearly off to a bad start.
It's not a question of if there will be a recession, it's a question of how deep will it be. Their inflation is
Runaway
more than
inflation,
8%, and these
sharp
levels
interest
will
rate
last
hikes,
40 years.
and the war in
There's going to be quite a bit of slowdown
73%
in a
believe
number of
an
countries
economic
already
downturn
this year.
will disrupt.
Safe to say, though, that India has reason to be cautiously optimistic about these.
So this 2.7 in 2023 is going to be a major concern.
If not, 2022 could end in recession.
Recession, inflation. क्या है ये recession? क्या है ये inflation? What is going on in the world? Is the world going to crash? Is everything coming to an end? Is this the end of human existence at all? Hello and namaste. My name is Nidhi Nagori and welcome back to my channel. A question that I get very often, almost on a daily basis, is when is recession coming? Is it coming to get us? Are our lives going to end? Are we going to find no jobs whatsoever, whether in our home country or abroad? Is our lives going to change completely? Are we going to go from 100 to 0, etc., etc., etc.? And so I think it's very important to address the term recession itself and how you can prep yourself for a recession that's impending. So if you're losing your sleep over recession, then stick around. While the textbook definition of recession is very technical, in the business world and an actual layman world, the definition is very simple. If there is no continuous growth that you're seeing in an economy, if you're seeing contraction in an economy, that means that it is headed towards recession. I have shot a UK video on the pros and cons, and one of the things that I covered there is how the economy is contracting. I'm going to link that video up here if I've already uploaded it. If not, you know it's going to be the next video that's up for upload. So make sure you watch it. But in short, if an economy is contracting typically for 2 quarters, and there is an impending recession. So first, let's talk about why this recession, what's going on, why is it even happening? Well, the biggest contributor of the recession or the impending recession as we see it currently in 2022 is the inflation. This inflation is a byproduct of 2 rising prices, the food prices, which are constantly rising, along with the energy prices, which are also rising. Just to give you some context, the average food prices have gone up by 12.6% between just February and March of 2022. A large part of it is attributed to the ongoing war because Ukraine and Russia both combined grow a lot of the wheat that is supplied to the world. Because of the ongoing war, destruction of crops in Ukraine, or the Russian troops pulling in the crops, the wheat prices, the average wheat prices across the world have gone up by 17.9%. This has also created a lot of flux in the commodity market. Along with just the price of the basic ingredient that we have in our food, there's a lot of other costs involved like labor, transport. Now with labor shortages, the labor costs are going up. The cost of transport is also going up because you have your fuel costs going up and obviously the labor involved in the transport itself. So there are too many factors that are currently contributing to the food inflation that we're seeing. Now added to the food inflation is the energy inflation. This came in thanks to the Ukraine-Russia conflict. A lot of countries put sanctions on Russia, and because Russia was a major supplier of energy, the energy prices skyrocketed across various countries, especially the Western world, which goes through bad winters and needs energy to keep heating going on during the winter months. That brings me to the most obvious question: is a recession coming for us? Well, all the latest data shows that an impending recession is coming for us. It is going to be a reality very soon, and whether or not it happens, it is something that we should start preparing for right away. You guys know I'm in finance, I'm a finance professional. I've never particularly liked the word recession. I'm somewhere okay with the word downturn, but recession, not a favorite of mine. Anyhow, I do know that whatever the circumstances, we should be prepared for our worst. So now let's talk about how you can prepare yourself for the worst in this recession. First thing that you can do is relax, calm down, do some meditation, do some yoga, whatever makes you feel better. I'm sure you're looking at the screen and wondering, what's wrong with Nidhi? She's expecting us to calm down. There's a recession coming for us. Well, I'm asking you to calm down because this is all about riding the wave. Data shows that average recession only lasts for 11 months. So as long as you can ride the wave in those 11 months or that 1 year that the recession might last, you might actually be good. Don't let the FUD, which is the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, get over you. Economic data also shows that we've always seen a recession in every decade. So it is something that will keep coming and will keep going, and it is something that would typically last 11 months. So 1 year in every decade is going to be recession. If you don't have a recession, you're never going to see growth, you're never going to see opportunities. So that's suggestion number 1, do not stress over it. Suggestion number 2, avoid all big ticket items that might be for personal use. Now keep in mind that to rein in inflation, typically the government and the central bank of any country will try to increase interest rates. They'll try to make debt and money in the market more expensive so that lesser people have money available, the purchasing power goes down, and that's why the inflation rates also come down. Many countries across the globe have already announced multiple interest rate hikes and have seen their inflation coming down. The inflation is already getting toned down. Now, if you decide to buy a house, a car, a personal vehicle, or any big ticket item at this point for which you might need some loan, going and getting that loan itself is going to be very expensive for you. One, the banks are just going to have a lot more scrutiny. Two, the interest rates are pretty high and it might not be a good deal for you. If you can just ride through this high interest rate period, wait for a couple months, couple years, let it settle down, and then make your big ticket purchase, you might actually be good. So that's going to be my suggestion number 2. If you have a big ticket item for purchase for personal use, this might not be the good time. Just save up that money and we'll talk about investments soon. The third suggestion is investments. Now, plan your investments very smart. This is the time for you if you are somebody who is invested in stock markets, invested in the sense if it interests you and if you're educated, or if you want to learn about it, or if you want to start investing, then this is the time, because the stock markets have officially gone into bear mode, which means that the stock prices have fallen more than 20%. This is the right time for you to get in and start making those investments, especially if you're interested in investing in stocks. Keep in mind that these are going to be long-term investments if you really want them to pay back to you. The one mistake that you should not be making here is avoid trying to time the market, avoid trying to game it. A lot of investors think that the stock prices are falling. I'm just going to wait until it hits its rock bottom, it hits the floor, and then I'm going to invest so that I find stocks for dirt cheap. Now, keep in mind that gaming the market, timing the market does not happen for everyone. And if you're not a seasoned investor, this is not the time to start off. If you're just a regular investor, then you want to start buying off stocks. And data shows that stock market returns double every 6 years, so you will definitely make up that money if you are in for the long haul. Certain sectors that you can consider right now is consumer goods, healthcare, and energy. These are relatively inelastic to whatever happens in the stock market because these are things that every day somebody needs. And the stock prices of these sectors do not really go down. Another sector, which is an upcoming sector that you might want to target currently, is the green sector, especially the electric vehicle market, which is a booming market, has a lot of demand. Now, if you're somebody who is an investor who already has their own real estate, has their own house, then this might be the right time for you to go and invest in another real estate. Why do I say that? Well, because of the high interest rate, house prices, the real estate prices are already low in the market, and as long as you can bear the high interest costs for the next 1 or 2 years, just ride the wave of this high interest rate wave. And as long as you can do that, you will actually be making a lot more money because the investment itself will pay off. You'll get capital appreciation and you'll be cash flow positive if you already are not. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you are paying off your credit cards as much as possible because interest rates are high and you do not want your credit history to take a hit at this point. And the last thing to do is invest in some safer options like gold and bonds. Now, gold is relatively safe. That's where a lot of people typically invest when they're out of options. So if you are somebody who's interested in investing, whether it's gold or digital gold, this might be the time. And if the stock markets are scaring you, then you might consider investing in bonds. The good thing about bonds is you have a fixed income every year because you're getting interest because it's debt that you're extending to a company, while a stock is getting ownership in a company. So because this is debt that you're extending to a company, this is a loan that you're giving to a company, they will be obligated to pay you interest every year. So you will see some income coming in every year. And the last thing you might want to do to keep stress at bay is to read, get yourself informed, get more education about what's happening in the world, what's going on, what's recession, what's inflation, is this really going to impact your life? Instead of taking the stress, get down to the core bottom of it. Know everything about it, read about it, follow the news, and that will make you feel confident in whichever situation you're in. It'll also help you plan your future, whether it's a short-term future or a longer-term future. On that note, this video has come to an end. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please let me know in the comments below. Please let me know if the recession is scaring you or if you have any other questions related to it. I promise to see you in the next video, and until then, I do hope that you take care of yourself, stay physically and mentally safe, and keep smiling throughout. Recession, inflation will come and go. We're here to stay. Stay well. Namaste.